And then down by the participants, you should be able to let them in from the waiting room.
Uh, I see them in the waiting room. Oh, it says admit all.
Yeah, so at 6 o'clock, you can admit all, and then you'll get a pop-up on your screen anytime there is someone who comes into the waiting room. So, like if somebody falls out of the meeting accidentally, which happens a lot, right?
Okay.
It'll be a blue thing, and you'll just hit admit when they pop up like that, and let them back in.
Okay.
It's kind of annoying, but you'll see it right, like kind of the top center of your screen.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think now that you're the host, I actually don't have to stick around.
Oh, let's see. Oh, there we go. Okay. Well,
I'll just stick around for like 10 minutes just in case anything goes weird. But I think you should be fine.
yeah. Is this one where they have chat or no chat?
Yeah, they should have a chat. I can see chat down at the bottom. They should be able to chat with you. This is a meeting, so they should be able to chat with you. Everyone should be able to see it.
Okay.
Yeah, my thing says message everyone. If I say
Okay.
hi, Steve. There we go. You should be able to see that.
All right. Um, wait, no. You just said something?
I said hi, Steve, in the chat.
Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, keep that going so I can see that. My participants. Actually, I should be good to go. So
Perfect.
it's time now, so I'll just admit all and just get going, right?
Yep. Yep. And then just anytime anybody pops up, just admit them. It'll happen randomly. You'll see it when they pop up.
Okay. Pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
All right. All right. I'm gonna get it started now.
Go right ahead.
Let's see here. All right, welcome everyone. This is social media marketing for small businesses. And what I like about this presentation, it's every single person in here built a business with your own hands, your own savings, your own belief that it was going to work, and it did. Um, and now, now you're here because you know that building something great is only half the battle. The other half, excuse me, uh, the other half is getting the world to notice it, right? So that's what today is all about: social media marketing, not the overwhelming, confusing, I have no idea where to start version. This version is the version that actually works for someone running a real business with real customers and maybe, just maybe, no marketing team at all, right? My name is Steve Berry, and I want to tell you about who I am. Not so you're impressed, but so you understand why I care about this topic so much. I'm an automation engineer. I'm a creative consultant. I help businesses use AI and systems do more with less. But before all that, I was a small business owner trying to figure out exactly what you're trying to figure out today. I remember sitting in front of a blank Instagram post thinking, what on earth do I say? Who's even going to care? And if you've ever had that feeling, that paralysis, that blank screen moment, then I want you to know you're exactly, you're in the right place because By the end of this little session here, that blank screen is never going to feel that intimidating again. That's the goal. I spent years building content systems that work, even when you're the only person in the building. That's the expertise I try to bring to the table. So let me ask you something. And I want you to be honest, even even just with yourself. How many of you have looked at your phone, open Instagram or Facebook, TikTok, whatever, and thought, I know I should post something, but I have no idea what. You know what I mean? That's the most common feeling I get with the clients that we receive. And it's not because, you don't have something to say. You actually have a lot to say. It's because I'm sorry, someone I just need to admit someone. You actually have a lot to say. You know, it's because nobody ever gave you, a system. The questions that keep business owners up at night are right there on the screen. What should I post? That one haunts pretty much all of us. How often should I post? Because you've heard everything from twice a day to twice a week. You still don't know which platform actually matters because you're not going to be on 7 of them at a time, right? And the big one, how do I find the time? Because you're already working a 60-hour week, probably. But here's what I want you to hear today. And I mean, I really want you to hear this. The goal today is to not make you a content creator. The goal is to give you a system that works, even if your business has 1 or 2 people in it. That's a totally different promise. And that's the one to keep. But here's what we're going to do together in this next segment, in this session. We're going to talk about how social media actually supports your business growth. And it might not be in the way you think. We're going to understand your customers so deeply that creating content for them feels obvious. We're going to build a content system. Sorry. We're going to build a content system, not just a posting schedule, right? But a real system, right? We're going to create content pillars, which are basically like the DNA of your brand online. And then this is the part I get, a little excited about. We're going to use the AI to make all of it faster, not to replace your voice, but to amplify it, right? We'll talk about repurposing, about running ads that don't waste money, about measuring the things that actually matter, not vanity metrics like followers, but real business results. And throughout all of it, we're going to use a fictional example business I created. I call it Hoosier Holloway. It's a fictional junk removal company in North Naptown. Why junk removal though? Because if I can show you how a junk removal company can build a magnetic social media presence, I feel like you're going to walk out of here knowing that you can do it for yours. All right. So before we get into the meat and potatoes, before we dive into any content, I want to do something. I want you to think to yourself, what is the one thing you're proud of when it comes to your social media? Now, maybe you've been consistent. Maybe you got one post that really landed, or maybe you've built a following that actually engages? Or what's the one thing you're still struggling with? The thing that makes you want to put the phone down and pretend social media really just it doesn't exist. In either case, this is why we're here. And I promise every single one of those pain points that you're thinking about has a practical answer. And we're going to get there, right? All right. So here's what we're going to do right now. We're going to use a little AI. And if you have your phone on you, that's great. I want you to open up like a chat GPT or a Claude, whichever you prefer. Gemini, it's all the same. If not, follow along and you can try this, later or tomorrow, or whatever, right? We're going to introduce your business to the internet, but we're going to do it the right way. Now here's the prompt on the screen, right? Um, it's simple, right? We want to write an Instagram post introducing my business. And then you fill in your business name, your products or service, what makes you different, what your target audience is, your location, right? Ask it for a friendly tone with a call to action. And here's what my little fictitious Hoosier Holloway gets back with this prompt. Hoosier Holloway helps Indianapolis homeowners reclaim garbage, garages, basements, spare rooms without lifting a finger. That's 20 seconds of reading, and it tells you exactly what they do, who they serve, and the emotional benefit. No lifting a finger. That's really the dream with AI. AI is not your ghostwriter. It's your first draft machine, right? Your voice goes in, something useful comes out. But here's the thing. What comes out is only as good as what you put in, right? Bad data in, bad data out. So today, we're going to teach you exactly what you should put in, right? And let me be clear about something because I think there's a misconception about what social media is supposed to do for you, right? Social media is not about going viral. It's not about becoming an influencer. It's not about dancing on TikTok or whatever the algorithm wants for you this week, next week, whatever. Here's what great content is actually supposed to do. It builds trust. It creates visibility. You're going to hear me say that a lot. Visibility, meaning the right people can find you. It generates conversations because conversations turn into customers, and it produces leads, real revenue. The goal is not to be everywhere. The goal is to be unforgettable to the people who matter. And the best part, you can do this without becoming a full-time content creator. In fact, the most powerful content you'll ever make already exists inside your business. You just need to unlock it. So, here's something that will change the way you think about social media. The businesses winning on social media right now in 2026 are not the ones who are trying to be influencers. They're becoming three things: one, local experts; two, trusted advisors; and three, community like personalities. And there's a massive difference between those two things. Think about the Hoosier Holloway, right? Nobody wakes up on a Tuesday passionately interested in junk removal as a hobby. But people do follow this company. Why? Because they post transformations. They show you a garage that was so packed with stuff, you couldn't walk through it. And then they show you the same space clean, open, breathing, That transformation triggers something emotional in people. It's aspirational, right? They tell stories. The family who couldn't face cleaning out their late father's home, the couple finally reclaiming their garage after 12 years. Stories pull people in. They always have, they always will. They give helpful advice: what to donate, what to throw away, how to prepare for a clean out. They make themselves the go to expert before someone even picks up the phone. People don't follow businesses, they follow stories, insights, and personalities that make them feel something, right? So let me give you something you can use today, so right now, a formula, 3 parts. Every piece of content you ever create for social media should follow this structure at some level, in some type of way. Part one is going to be the hook. This is the first line. This is the first frame. This is the first second of your video. Its only job really is to stop the scroll. We want to slow them down, nothing else. If they don't stop, nothing else matters. That's why the hook is so important. Part two is the story. Once you've got them stopped, once you've got their attention, you earn their connection. You give them something, a moment, an insight, a before and after, a laugh. This is where trust is built. And then part three is that call to action. You'll see CTA all the time. That's call to action, right? You guide them to the next step, not sell them, you guide them. There's a difference. Selling pushes, guiding invites. Now, how does that sound? Here's the Hoosier Holloway version, right? The hook: this garage hadn't been opened in 17 years. I already want you, I already want to see inside. I want to see inside it. You know what I mean? That's a good hook. Stops the scroll. The story: the homeowner thought the cleanup would take weeks. Reliability, real, human. And then the call to action: need help reclaiming your space? Send us a message. So it's simple, it's not pushy, it's kind of inviting, right? So we'll do a quick exercise right now. Take 30 seconds, write one hook for your business. Just one sentence. It can be a question, a bold statement, a number, an unfinished thought, whatever would make someone stop scrolling, right? Take a second, right? You just wrote your first intentional hook. That's a skill. And like every skill, it gets sharper every time you use it. So let me show you what a well-trained hook library might look like. Now, these are 10 hooks built specifically for that Hoosier Holloway fictitious company. As I read them, though, I want you to feel how each one of them is slightly different, right? The first one: the strangest thing we found this week. That's the curiosity. It's irresistible. The next one: this garage hadn't been opened in 17 years. It's specific, it's visual, it's time locked. Would you keep this or throw it away? You see this all the time. This is really just engagement. This is how they have to answer to jump in on that. The next one: number one mistake homeowners make before a clean out. This is considered authority. It's useful, something I can save, come back to. What would you do with this space? Aspirational, all day. Their home, not ours, right? Uh, then we got before and after, 6 hours of work. This one is like transformational. This is that proof one. The next one: this Indianapolis family filled 3 dumpsters It's got, this is the scale. This is the binging poses. This is the wow factor. This is the stuff that you just uh you just follow just because you're interested. Uh the next one, you won't believe what was hidden in this attic. This is a classic. This one works every time. Uh Gets people to slow down. They just want to see what's going on. The next one, three things you should never throw in the trash. This could be considered list format. It's shareable. It's engagement. This gets people saving it, coming back to it later. The last one, the real cost of waiting to clean out a property. This is that FOMO, fear of loss. It's emotional, right? And so, and all of these, we notice something, right? None of those hooks said, we offer affordable junk removal service in Indianapolis, because nobody stops for that type of stuff. You got to get them a different way. Now here's where AI becomes kind of like your creative partner, right? In the same chat where you wrote that introduction post, you type something like this: create 10 hooks for my business that would perform well on Instagram, Facebook Reels, and TikTok in 2026. That's really all you need. That's it. Because you've already told it what your business is. It knows your context already. It's going to give you 10 hooks in about 15 seconds. So some will be great, some you'll throw away. But I promise you, at least two or three of them will be better than what you could have written in 20 minutes alone. Keep the good ones. They go into your hook library. And when you sit down to create content tonight, tomorrow, next week, you're not starting from zero. You're starting from a list, right? I want to talk to you, though, about the single most important, like, structural idea in all of social media marketing. I've dubbed it, it's, you'll see it a lot: content pillars. Think about a building, any building. It doesn't matter how beautiful the windows are, how good the lighting is, how nice the furniture is inside. Without pillars, without structure, whole thing is, it's going to collapse. Your content is somewhat the same. Without pillars, every time you sit down to post something, you're starting from scratch. You have no framework. There's no rhythm. There's no identity. You're just shouting into the void and hoping someone hears you. Right? With content pillars are your repeatable content categories. The themes you come back to again and again. They give your audience something to expect from you. And expectations builds that loyalty. Let's go back to Hoosier Holloway, right? For Hoosier Holloway, we built 5: local expertise, before and after transformations, interesting finds, customer stories, and trust builders. Every single piece of content they create falls into one of those 5 buckets. Every post, every reel, every story. That's not limiting. That's really liberating. Because when you sit down tonight, on Sunday, Monday, whatever, and you go to plan your week, you're not asking, what do I post? You're asking, which pillar is up next, right? Not all content is created equal, though. The best content strategy uses content that plays different roles. Think of it like building a team. You don't want 5 players who all do the same thing. Educational content teaches something useful. It positions you as the expert. Did you know you can throw a mattress in a standard dumpster? Now I know something I didn't know before. And I associate that knowledge with you and your brand. You got your promotional content. Promotional content shows what you actually do, your service, the results of your service done right. It doesn't feel like an ad, it feels like a demonstration, right? You see this all the time. Connection content. Connection content humanizes the business, the team, the behind the scenes, how this all works, the laugh on the job site. This is what makes people feel like they know you before they ever met you. Um, you got my favorite is the engagement content. Engagement content, it starts the conversation, polls, questions, stuff like, would you keep this vintage lamp or trash it? Engagement signals to the algorithm that people care about your content. And that means more reach for you, right? And credibility content. Credibility content builds trust and authority. Reviews, before and afters, certifications, the things that make someone say, you know what? These people know what they're doing, right? Here, here's the single biggest mindset shift I want you to leave with today, right? Stop asking what should I post and try to start asking yourself, what happened in my business today? You feel how different those two questions are? The first one puts you in front of a blank screen with infinite possibilities and zero direction. The second one puts you in your business, which is already a full, which is already full of content every single day. You just haven't been seeing it that way. The garage you cleaned out today, that's content, right? We're thinking about the Hoosier hallway, right? The usual item you found, the crazy item you found, that's content. Customer who cried happy tears when she saw her spare room again, that's content. That is content that will make people stop, watch, binge, and feel something. Document first, create the content second. Your business is a content machine. You just need to turn it on, right? And one more thing about the pillars, right? Generic pillars create generic content, right? Specific pillars create content people actually remember, right? Behind the scenes, as a pillar is fine, but day in the life of a junk removal team is magnetic because now you can write this. If thinking as we're Hoosier hallway, right? Whatever your business is, we started today with the garage clean out and caramel and ended up with an estate clean out and fishes. The second sentence was location. It has scope, right? It has a story built into it before you've even posted a photo. Specificity is credibility. Specificity is tied to searchability, right? And specificity is what separates the businesses people scroll past from the ones that they follow. Okay. Here's what this looks like, in practice. 7 days, 7 content types, 1 pillar per day. Monday, you lead with local expertise. Teach them something. Tuesday, transformation. Show them, show them before and after. All right. Wednesday, an interesting find. That weird something about your business from what you do. Thursday, a customer story. Let someone else, let someone else, big you up. So sell their words for you. right? Friday, a review or a testimonial. Saturday, a transformational reel, your highest reach content. And Sunday, a would you rather poll. Light, fun, engagement bait for sure. Is this the only way to do it? Absolutely not. Is it a proven system that removes the guesswork? Absolutely. And right now, removing the guesswork is the most valuable thing that I can give you, right? I want to make one thing clear though. Your pillars are a framework, not a prison. Okay. Add seasonal content, add community events, the local parade, the food drive, the charity you've been involved with, add local news that's relevant to your customers, add posts that answer the questions your customers are literally asking you every day. Your pillars expand, they breathe, they're flexible, they grow with your business, right? So take 60 seconds, write down 5 potential content pillars that you for your business, right? Don't overthink it. What do you know a lot about? What does your customers, what do they care about? What do you show up and do every single day that could be documented, right? Now let's take what, you know, what you've just wrote or thought about, right? Now let's turbocharge that with some AI, right? In that same chat, right? Let's run through those 4 steps. First, we'll ask AI to create 5 content pillars for your business. Give it what you got. Sorry. Give it what you got. Uh, and then second, ask it to refine each pillar, make it specific, not generic, right? And the last one, third, ask for example posts for each pillar. And fourth, right, ask it to build a weekly posting plan. What you're doing right now is building the skeleton of a social media strategy in about 5 minutes with AI, kind of as your partner. Right now, I know not everyone here runs a junk removal company, obviously. So let me quickly show you how these same principles apply across the kinds of businesses that are right here, probably in this room, right? For home services, your transformation is your product. Show the broken things and the fixed things. That's your content. For landscaping, fore and after yard designs are some of the highest performing visual content on the internet. You are literally sitting on a gold mine of imagery and video. For cleaning companies, there's an entire corner of the internet obsessed with satisfying cleaning content. People find it deeply irrationally relaxing. This is your audience. For local trades, people trust tradespeople who show their work, show the process, show the tools, show the expertise in real time. We take for granted our expertise and the things that we know. We often assume that everyone knows this stuff, when in reality, you're the expertise. The strategy is the same. Content is yours. And your content, the specific, real, day-to-day reality of your business, is something that no competitor can replicate. because it's you, right? So here's the question I hear most after people understand the system. You know what? This sounds great, Steve, but I still don't have time to do this every day. And you're right, you don't. So you're not going to. Instead, excuse me, instead, we're going to batch your content. Batching means you create a week's worth of content in one sitting, one session. Let's just use Sunday, right? Maybe Thursday afternoon, whatever, wherever you're free. You block out 1 to 2 hours, right? And you make everything you need for the next 7 days. The benefits are enormous. You have your consistency, your audience always hears from you. Less stress. You're not waking up Monday morning panicking about what to post, right? More efficiency. You're not, you're in a creative, you're in a creative mindset. So everything is better, right? When you hit that one, just do it all at once. And it becomes, delegatable. You know, as you grow, someday you hand this system, you hand this to an employee or a contractor, and the system is already built, right? It already works. So here's the Sunday evening playbook for Hoosier Holloway, right? Review the jobs from last week. Identify two or three that had a good story. Those become your content for the week. And that's it. The raw material was already created. You just need to recognize it. Uh, when you open your content calendar for the week, you're making 4 decisions for each piece of content. Which pillar, what's the post idea, what format, photo, video, reel, story, right? And what is the CTA? What's the call to action, right? So this is kind of an example of a loose calendar, right? An example of one that I might do for Hoosier Holloway if I was them, where I'm doing this. But the concept is the same for any business. If I'm thinking about my automation business, I would still follow this same format in the same type of way. Um, then you have the creation process, right? The creation process has like 4 steps, right? You write the caption, gather the photos or videos, build the post, schedule it in that order. It sounds obvious, but most people don't have the right order. They try to create visuals without a caption. And then the caption doesn't match the visual. The caption is first, right? Caption first always. And remember what I said before. Every completed job is content. You're not creating content from thin air. You're packaging what already happened. Schedule everything. Don't post manually every day. You'll forget. Promise you. You'll get busy. You'll break the rhythm. Use the scheduling tools. Meta Business Suite is free. And it does. It does a good job. It's one of the best. For Facebook and Instagram. You know, Canva now has a built-in scheduling. What is it? Metrical later. Social Pilot, all strong options if you want more control. Hootsuite is still out there, I'm pretty sure. Pick one, learn it once, then stop thinking about it. Okay. I want to show you something though. I want to show you something that's going to completely change the way you see your workday, right? One job, one single garage clean out for Hoosier Holloway. This can create 30 pieces of content, a reel, a TikTok, a story, carousel post, a Facebook post, an email to your community list, a blog post to your website, a review request, or ad creative. I mean, you can create tons of content from one job that you are already doing anyway. The content is not extra work. The content is the work. You just need to point a camera at it. Stop treating content as something you do after the work and try to think about creating content. Start treating it as part of the work, right? And one more thing before we move to advertising is the B-roll. B-roll is taken for granted. If you're not familiar with the term, B-roll is footage that runs alongside audio or a voiceover. It's not someone talking to the camera itself, right? For Hoosier Holloway, it's the truck arriving, right? It's a video of that. The before walkthrough, team loading crap, the finished space, right? These are the visuals, right? B-roll is powerful for for three main reasons. It makes your content more dynamic. Even a 30-second clip with good music and B-roll footage looks professional. It allows voiceovers, which means you don't have to be on camera to have a voice, right? And it builds trust through transparency, showing people your actual work, your actual team, the actual process. It's your I definitely am camera shy. So if you're camera shy like me, B-roll is really your best friend, right? Start filming your work, not yourself, your work. The rest follows naturally, trust me. And, quick but important, visuals matter. A great caption with a bad image will underperform a great caption with a great image. And you don't need to be a graphic designer, right? Canva is your design partner. It has plenty of templates, before and after layouts. A quick side note, something that I've learned just in the last 14 days, Gemini is also your partner. Uh, with the rise of uh, layout, image generation, HTML generation, etc., uh, I Claude is definitely my favorite, but between Claude and Gemini, this section right here can be replaced with Claude or Gemini to play the role of a design partner by giving it these same things that we're talking about. It can replace and give you a good starting point. That Canva gives you a something hard, something that you can play with and manipulate. The LLMs will give you something that will give you a great starting point. So I just threw that in there, right? Real cover design, same thing. Carousel templates, story frames. These are all things you can either do in Canva if you're into design, maybe have an aspiration for design. That's something you can jump into. If you're not into that, like I said, the LLMs, Claude is an amazing tool. Gemini will create beautiful images. So those are tools at your disposal. But either way, you want to set up a brand kit, whether you do it independently or you do it in Canva. You want to lock in things like the logos, your colors, your fonts, whether that's in text that you're delivering to the LLM so that it can build accordingly, or something you're locking in on Canva that you're going to build upon. Either way, you want to get your finalized logo, the official logo, your official color scheme, and your official fonts so that the LLMs and things can build from that point, right? Then every single piece of content you create will be consistent, right? That's the whole point of what we're talking about. That brand kit, your conversations with the LLM is the consistency, okay? Consistency builds recognition. Recognition builds the trust. This is a, this is a 20-minute setup that pays you back every single week for months and years to come. Okay. Um, Two quick things before advertising. We want to plan seasonally. It's a mistake I made for sure. Think about it long term. For Hoosier Holloway, spring cleaning in March, state cleanouts in summer, holiday decluttering in November. Map your content to the calendar of when your customers naturally need you the most. This will help you in a lot of ways, right? And understand this, as of today, in 2026, people are searching on social media the way they used to search on Google. And to take that a step further, people are searching on their LLMs, their chat GPTs and Geminis. They're using that to search. If someone in Indianapolis types in how much does junk removal cost into Instagram, and they do, your content can show up. That means your posts are not just social, they're searchable. Write them accordingly. Okay. Now, let's talk about the ads. And I want to start by removing the fear, right? A lot of small business owners here run ads. They imagine burning money on the internet, basically. That that doesn't have to be your story. Ads don't create interest. They're meant to accelerate it. If you have a great organic content that people already respond to, you take that content and put a little skin in the game, put a little money behind that. And now instead of reaching your own, reaching your 200 followers, you're reaching 2,000 people in your zip code. The best ads for local service businesses are not polished commercials. They're before and after videos, customer stories, team introductions, testimonials, the real human specific stuff, right? Boosting posts versus the ad manager, classic. Here's the short version. Boost post is for visibility, quick and easy. Good for getting a post seen by more people. Ads manager is for real lead generation, right? It's slightly more complex, but it gives you targeting, tracking, control that the boost, it just doesn't do that. If your goal is phone calls and form submissions, and it should be, then we need to learn the ads manager. Okay. And you'll hear I'm sure you've heard funnels, you hear it all the time. Funnel this, funnel that. We want to run a simple funnel. Awareness is at the top, transformation videos to cold audiences, people who don't know you. People don't know anything about you. We're hitting them with awareness content, right? Then there's the mid funnel consideration, customer story, to people who engage with the first one. Anyone who watched the first one, we're going to hit them again with some consideration content. And then the next one is the conversion, the free estimate offer. People who watched the first video, we gave them a little bit on the second one. If they watched the second one, we hit them with the conversion. Free estimate offer, right? 3 steps. Small daily budget, start at $5, $10 a day, and see what the data tells you. Because that's what we're looking for, the data. Okay. And test. Always test. Different hooks, different thumbnails, different calls to action. The market will tell you what's working. The key and the place where I see many small businesses is you have to listen to the content. You have to go back to the content and listen. And this with LLMs, with your chat GPTs and things like that, those things can listen for you. So if you can give it the content that an ad manager gives you back so that it can analyze it and give you a good answer, that is also a valid way of listening to the data. Okay. So next, let's quickly dive into A/B testing. Uh, this is going still leaning on the side of data. We're running 2 different ads, and we're testing the different components of it. So in this case, we're testing the hooks, the thumbnails, the headlines, and seeing what works, what doesn't work, figure out what works, get rid of what doesn't work, and double down on whatever is working, right? People trust other people more than they trust the businesses. Now, that's not cynicism. That's how we work. That's human nature. And it means your happiest customers are your most powerful marketing assets. Okay. After every successful job, ask your customer one simple question. Would you mind recording a quick 20-second review? That's it. Most people will say yes if you get them right at that right time. Some people film something extraordinary, and now you have user generated content, which is super powerful, right? UGC, you'll see that a lot. It just means user generated content, right? That you can post, you know, run it as an ad, put it on your website, share it in an email, right? Post reviews, turn testimonials into reels, feature their stories, make your customers the heroes of your brand, right? That's not just good marketing. That's just good character, right? Now, one of my favorites, engagement. Engagement is more than likes, right? Comments, saves, shares, direct messages, phone calls. These these are the signals that matter. The algorithm, the algorithm rewards them. And more importantly, your business grows from them. So things like ask questions, using polls, reply to every comment as soon as possible. It's a big one, especially in today's marketing. Replying to comments, good or bad, boosts your, the way that Google searches for you, how the LLMs look at you, um, collaborating with other local businesses, another powerful way to market your business. Show up at community events and document it. This is something I had to learn myself. Attending networking events, that's all content. In 2026, community strategy beats hashtag strategy. Location tags and local partnerships matter more than stuffing hashtags into your caption, right? And finally, we want to measure. This is listening to the data. We want to listen, but we want to measure and listen to the right things, right? Most important metrics: leads, calls, form submissions, reviews, cost per lead, right? These are business results. These are the numbers that keep the lights on, right? These, the less important stuff, followers, likes, they feel good, but if we're being honest, they don't pay the bills, right? Review your analytics at least once a week. What performed? Whatever performed, do more of that. What didn't perform? Let's look at it, change something. That's the A/B testing. What didn't work? Change a little bit, test it again. Review, refine, and repeat. That's the entire optimization system. It's not complicated, but it does require consistency. Okay. The goal again is not to go viral. The goal is generating customers, right? So let's bring this all back around, right? Today we covered, 7 things together: the AI assisted content, the content pillars, batching, repurposing, advertising, social proof, right? And then analytics. Uh, you came in where, where things are, and this is kind of where we want to be, right? So that's pretty much, the whole thing is consistency. So I think that's probably the biggest takeaway. Um, not the best camera, not the most creative ideas, not the biggest budget, not perfect content, but just consistency, showing up again and again for the people who need what you offer, right? That that is what separates the businesses that thrive online for the ones that, kind of just quit, right? So I'm going to open it up for questions. Does anyone have any questions for me? If I could, I'm sorry. Well, if we don't have any questions, my name is Steve Barry. I am available for oh wait, I see one. I see one about mentioning questions, Chris. No, I'll turn this on.
How to raise your hand.
Appropriate responses to bad comments. Um, Me personally, I tend to let a chat GPT, or my favorite is Claude. I let them handle bad comments or things that are kind of a little too close to me. Uh, I don't want you don't want to say anything too emotional, right? But the point of it is responding, the timing of it all, to show the next person that, hey, uh, this last person was upset about something, but the company came right back and responded. And you'll see this a lot if you look around. I'm sure we've all seen it. Restaurants and things like that. You'll see someone, you go to their one They're, the one comments. If you go to anybody's Google My Business comments and you look at all the one comments, uh, and you'll see the companies that respond to those comments. And they're usually very vague. Just, sorry it didn't go great. And some people offer coupons and things like that if you're really complex with it. But just really, it's just a response and just showing the next person that uh, they responded. Okay. Um, where does Google Business Profile fit? Google Business Profile is key. That's at the top of the list as of today. So I know I'm sorry, I've got multiple people up here. But Google My Business, it actually acts as almost as powerful, if not more powerful, than your own website. I've dealt with clients who don't have too much of a website, but they have their Google Business Profile. If you're somebody like an HVAC, something where people need to call you every day, Google My Business Profile is a very powerful tool. Not only is it geographically pointing people to you when they're searching, it also points them to anything you got going on, your website. Uh, and then within the last, I'd say 60 days, maybe 90 days, you can also post to your Google business profile similar to how you might post to TikTok. So that changes the game a lot because now you're not posting, TikTok-y type content. You're posting very relevant content that answers questions to your Google business profile, which only along with those bad comments, commenting on a timely basis, as well as how often I post to my Google business profile. All of those things feed into Google kind of doing the work for you and putting you in front of people uh, and bringing business to you. A great example is a travel agent I worked with out in Vancouver. We focused a lot on her Google business profile. And just the other day, the client who called her told her that ChatGPT told her to call her. So ChatGPT just brought her business because ChatGPT did a cross reference that included the Google business profile, all the comments, how they responded to comments, what people said in the comments, cross references the Yelp with the website, with the Facebook. It does all that for you and becomes a tool if you've done it right. Do you have any recommendations for advertising on Discord and gaming related? That's a good question. I do not, honestly, to be fully transparent. That's a great question. I'd love to dig down and find the answer for you. So, advertising on Discord specifically and gaming related platforms. I did deal with a client who was heavy on the streaming. It wasn't gaming related, but it was streaming. But in terms of advertising and getting them to the Discord, getting them to any platform, the game is still the same. So um, even using my son as a gamer uh, and getting people to his channel, they find him through the Instagram, they find him through his link tree, and they find him through the search. So it's like one leads to the next, which leads to the next. So if I was running a Discord, I'm most likely to run, that's kind of my community. So I'm going to have other tools that kind of sit alongside it, whether it be a, a Twitter or X, I'm sorry, things like that. So I'm going to have something that goes with it that gets them there, if that makes sense. How can I learn how to set up social media business sites? I'm not sure what that means, Lori. Uh, Trying to turn you on. I'm not sure what that means, how to set up social media business sites. I apologize for this. I'm trying to unmute you guys. What ideas would you have for a non-service industry? Not as many before and after opportunity. A non-service industry. I would assume you're meaning products. Is that what you mean, Beth? Or ice cream? It's the same. It's the same thing. If you're running products, uh, let's just keep with the ice cream. If you're let's say are you running brick and mortar, or are you running something where you're shipping it to them? And either way, uh, either you're trying to right. So you're trying to get them to a place, which is better. I think it's the best one. That goes kind of back to the Google My Business profile. Google My Business profile is going to be your best friend. So in a brick and mortar, I have a physical location. The physical location is uh, key to my Google Business profile. They run one and the same. So if I'm standing in the zip code uh, and I'm saying, hey, uh, this happens with me and my wife all the time. She wants to have some ice cream. I'm going to look at my Google My Business. I'm going to type in ice cream, and Google and Gemini together are going to find me the ones that are the closest, as well as the ones that are rated the best. So in that case, for brick and mortar, I would focus my energy on Google My Business and getting it at a 100% completion rate, so that the website is there, my pictures are up, my all my the time when I'm available, uh, all of those things. Google is very strict about making sure you're legit, and that does take time, but investing that time into making sure that it's completed is worthwhile. Um, do you have a preferred YouTube introduction video technique for the autoplay feature when viewers visit my channel? I literally am working on this right now. So, uh, whatever you're serving up on YouTube, um, in this case, I have an automation consulting business, and I am doing the same thing. So in my case, I'm almost doing the exact same thing as what we talked about. I'm showing them the transformation. When I say automation to people, they always ask me, well, what do you automate? And so I had to create an introduction video to kind of answer the most common question, right? So in the same case, you would do the same thing. In this content that we've talked about, the, what you do is the content you would create. So that introduction video is the intro to you, to your business. Um, right. Um, like the hook, it's going to be in, what business are you in? I'm sorry. Let's get specific with that. Joseph, Mr. Greenwell, what business are you in? Yeah. So in this case, let's just say I was running that. I'm gonna definitely, I would lean on Claude first. I'm gonna get those pillars together. and I'm going to figure out my target. If I don't know it already, I'm going to have a target market, and that target market is searching for things. Uh, if you're on YouTube, that means you're showing something, teaching something, displaying something. So there's commonality in the things that people are searching for. So in YouTube, in my world, people may be searching for uh, how to vibe code with make.com or something like that. So if that was the highest rated question in my field, I may make an introduction video that focuses on that. Hey, welcome to my channel. I'm going to talk about vibe coding. This is what the channel is about. That's kind of what that is. That intro, that hook, it does apply to your intro video, but it's much more, they've already made it there. So they don't necessarily need to be hooked in. They want to know what this channel is about in that case. So it's much, there's still a hook. You don't want to come in with uhs and ahs. You want to hook them in. But the hook is more like, this is why you're here. That's kind of the hook. Hey, I'm Steve Berry. Welcome to my channel. This is what the channel is about. That's kind of the hook. So if small budget, do you recommend for camp over boosting? So Beth, Miss Kessie, I would wait, I would, like I said in the presentation, if you've got something that's already working, people are engaging with it, people really like the content, and now you're ready to put some money behind it, whether you boost it or not. I would start out little. I'd start out very little. With LinkedIn, I do this a lot. If there's something that I want to get in front of people, uh, I'll start with something like their minimum, which I believe it's like $5 a day. But I'd start out small, is the point. Until you find something that's really working. When you find something that's really working, you can put a little bit more behind it. But I find people are dumping a lot of money into things that don't really get you anything. So you may put a lot of money behind something, you might boost something a lot, and all you really got was people saw it. People may have scrolled past it, and they count that as they count when people scroll past it as part of the money that they charge for. So maybe 2,000 people, they saw it. But when they say they saw it, that just means they scrolled past it. So some of those stats in your analytics, yeah, that's why it's important to look at them and know what's vanity metrics and what's actually important. So if you've got something with high engagement, people are commenting on it a lot, asking you questions a lot, that's evidence that you got a good piece of content. If you got no comments, no engagement, no likes, but a lot of views, that's not really a tell. So, um, so with the budget, I would go slow, find out what's working, and like I said, finding those content pillars, looking at your business, and then kind of reverse engineering what it would take to create the engagement. Let's see, if I had the ice cream shop, there's tons of ways to do transformation before and after. I think about my one of my favorite places, Jones's Ice Cream in Michigan. Before and after is before I walked in and then after I walked out with the ice cream cone. That's an easy one. I was sad when I came in. I'm happy when I left. That's just that's stuff that will get people engaged. Or what's your favorite flavor? Uh, um, I can't think of any butter pecan or chocolate. That'll get people debating for days. So that type of stuff. Once you get something like that going and you got people debating about flavors, put some money behind that. And that will just get in front of more people, will just boost the debate even more. So that applies for every business. The video gaming, my son will debate me about video games till he's blue in the face, and people love that stuff. So creating that engagement will create that content, which will get them to your channel. So those are some things that I could think about. I'm sorry, guys, I didn't even have my camera on. Um, does anyone else have any questions before we cut? If not, again, I am Steve Barrett. I do this all the time. You can find me online. You can find me on LinkedIn. Oh, I got another one. I believe they send out the recording. Don't quote me on that. Uh, but I believe they send out the recording so you can watch it later. Um, I hope they do. All right. No problem. I appreciate you guys showing up. Um, I'm here to help. So if you need me, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn, and I'm always here to point you in the right direction. So again, thank you again, and I'll see you on the next go around. All right.